I'm Daniel. I'm a bioinformatics and molecular biology post-bac scientist at the NIH. The coolest jobs in bioinformatics and computational biology require a PhD in computer science or bioinformatics, computational biology. The Doctor of Philosophy is a degree that inherently gives research training. You're going to leave your PhD program as a researcher. And if you're curious to learn about what the PhD entails, I actually recently made a video talking about this recent controversy in the fitness world about someone who did a PhD that wasn't that good in exercise science. And I contrasted it with 3 excellent PhDs, so that can give some context. I don't have a PhD right now, but I am going to be applying to PhD programs very soon. I'll get into that a little bit later. What I want to do right now is read a job description for a really good example of the kind of high-level, high-paying, really cool job in bioinformatics computational biology. There's a lot of these out there, but they all require PhDs. And I think as I read through parts of this job description, it'll make a lot of sense why that is. This job description is at Genentech, which is a very large biotech company. They specifically focus on creating new medicines to treat diseases. And I'm actually going to read through chunks of this job description. I think it's really instructive though for us. So if you stick around, I think you'll get some good insight from this. Genentech seeks a highly motivated senior machine learning scientist to join the cellular states and their organization group within the biology research AI development department in Genentech Research and Early Development. Our group is committed to designing and implementing transformative machine learning capabilities to model and probe the cellular biology of disease, from DNA variation to tissue organization, and how it is manifested in the patient populations we want to impact. These underpin our goal to revolutionize how we discover and characterize novel therapeutic targets and the clinical context in which they can be most safe and efficacious. This way, we intend for state and future-of-the-art machine learning to have material and positive societal impact. In this position, you will lead development and application of next-generation machine learning methods for the representation, analysis, and interpretation of image-based data and its integration with molecular data modalities, especially spatial transcriptomics. Successful candidates are expected to bring significant experience with image-based biological modalities, demonstrable experience of thoughtfully implementing modern neural network models for biological applications, and a deep curiosity for how these will impact therapeutic and target discovery. You will work closely with an existing team of software developers, machine learning experts, computational biologists, and wet lab collaborators to develop multimodal tissue foundational models. You will immediately impact key ongoing and planned projects in diverse therapeutic areas including neuroscience, immunology, and molecular oncology. In this role, you will lead the application of cutting-edge machine learning models to address bottlenecks in target discovery and drug development. You will collaborate closely with different therapeutic areas and cross-functional teams in GRED to understand needs and concerns. You will provide domain-specific input to the development of foundation models. You will scale machine learning models to large biological imaging datasets, working at the intersection of deep learning and engineering challenges to support new scientific questions. You will regularly publish in top-tier machine learning, computational biology venues, and/or scientific journals, presenting results at internal and external scientific venues, conferences, and workshops. Who you are. You have a PhD or equivalent experience in computational biology. For example, a PhD in computer science, bioinformatics, computational biology, or related technical field. You have excellent knowledge of the practice of deep learning and familiarity with modern architectures as demonstrated in past projects and/or publications. You have extensive experience with biological imaging modalities and familiarity with the opportunities and limitations of this data modality and its integration with molecular modalities. You have demonstrated strengths in developing new computational tools and models. You have a strong publication record at appropriate top-tier venues, advanced skills in Python and machine learning libraries such as PyTorch and PyTorch Lightning. You have strong analytical and written verbal communication skills, motivated to learn and apply new machine learning techniques, working as part of a team with other department members, an interest in developing and applying biological foundation models for target discovery and drug development. The expected salary range for this position based on the primary location of California is $167,400 to $310,800. Actual pay will be determined based on experience, qualifications, geographic location, and other job-related factors permitted by law. A discretionary annual bonus may be available based on individual and company performance. I wanted to read through this entire job description because I think it really captures a lot of the key things that I'm trying to stress in this video. This job is asking for a PhD in computer science, bioinformatics, computational biology, or a related field. So you do need that qualification on its own. But you also need a lot of the things that come with the process of earning a PhD. This job is looking for someone who's published research in top-tier venues. And the whole goal of a PhD is to become a researcher. You're going to be publishing things that you research. So in the process of earning that PhD, you are going to meet that requirement, assuming you actually do good work and publish in top-tier venues. They're looking for someone with strong molecular data knowledge and the ability and track record to create computational pipelines for biological data analysis. These are all things that someone's going to be doing in a PhD in computational biology, bioinformatics, or even a PhD in computer science if they work on a project in computational biomedicine. And the pay is strong, anywhere from $167,000 to $310,000. And if someone has a lot of experience, they've done really good work, published in the top journals, then they're definitely going to be near the higher end of that range. There's a lot of jobs like this out there, but notice as well that this job doesn't have the title of bioinformatician or computational biologist. The actual job title, at least according to the job description, is Senior Machine Learning Scientist with Braid Genomics Machine Learning. It looks like that's the full job title. And that just goes to show that once you get to this level, the titles can be a little bit different, but these are the kinds of things that bioinformaticians, computational biologists are really doing, at least at this level. Someone can get a job with a master's or sometimes just a bachelor's. For example, I'm working a post-bac level bioinformatics, molecular biology, science research job right now. And it's specifically for people who have earned that level of qualification. That said, it's a stepping stone for me, and a lot of these kinds of jobs are stepping stones for people to get into competitive PhDs and then go on to do further work to be able to do jobs like the one that I just listed here. For me, I'll be applying to PhD programs in May, and specifically I'm going to be applying to MD PhD programs. These are 8-year dual degree programs where you earn a Doctor of Medicine and a Doctor of Philosophy. Fortunately, it's a paid experience, so you're going to be in school for 8 years. You're going to be doing research, clinical work, classes for 8 years, but you're paid the whole time. It's basically like an 8-year guaranteed full-time job with benefits. Really tough, really, really prestigious, really extremely highly competitive, but I'm doing my best to be competitive. I think it will work out. And for my PhD portion of that, I want to do a PhD in computational biology, bioinformatics, bioengineering, within that realm, or even a PhD in computer science. All those sound really cool to me, and I'm trying to make myself competitive for all of those. One of the schools that I'm going to be applying for in May is University of California at Irvine. They have an MSTP program. This is a medical scientist training program. Just for context, there's 121 MD PhD programs in the United States. About half of those are MSTP programs. These are funded by the National Institutes of Health. to train the next generation of high caliber physician scientists. NIH gives schools like UCI money to train students, hopefully like me, to go do this kind of training. And within their program, you can do a PhD in any field offered on the UCI campus as long as you can make it related to biomedicine. There's two programs I'm especially interested at UCI. One is their PhD in mathematical, computational, and systems biology. Another is their PhD in computer science. I'll super briefly go over the admissions requirements for both, just to give a sense of if someone's watching this video and they're thinking about aiming for a PhD to prepare for a career in bioinformatics, computational biology, what to expect. So if we go over here to the mathematical, computational, systems biology degree program, the prerequisites that are listed here are things like mathematical training with differential equations, linear algebra, and you need to have necessary computational and biological knowledge to succeed in the curriculum. You should have research experience in one of these. Ideally, you'll have research experience that spans mathematical, computational, and biological disciplines. That's ideal. You need a bachelor's as well. And then for their PhD in computer science, at UCI, PhD applicants are expected to have a bachelor's degree or higher in a discipline related to the area of research before starting. So at UCI, you can do your PhD in computer science and focus your research on biomedicine and bioinformatics, which is what I would do if I did the PhD in computer science there. Any of those options pair well with my long-term career plans, which are to be a physician scientist. So I don't just want to be a bioinformatician and that be all I do. I want bioinformatics, computational biomedicine to be one of the tools and my sort of research potentially that I do pairing with being a doctor. Some ideas that I think would work synergistically are things like I could be a neurosurgeon who is also a computational neuroscientist. I could be a radiologist who's also a computer vision researcher studying medical image scans. I also envision potentially being a psychiatrist and a clinical health informatician, looking at patient health records and using computer science to do that better. So I think there's a lot of different avenues for that. And I think however it ends up being in the future, I think getting that training at the PhD research level would be fantastic for that. Let's say you're watching this and you really want to take it seriously and consider pursuing a career in bioinformatics, computational biology. Let's say you heard that job description at Genentech and you're like, yeah, that is a really cool job. I like that it combines biology, computer science, mathematics, collaboration with really smart, cool people. That's something that I really would be interested in. And you're wondering where to start. Well, depending on your level, there's a few things you can do right now. Let's say you're in undergraduate and you're thinking about getting research experience. One really good thing you can do is look into REU programs. This is an acronym that stands for Research Experiences for Undergraduates. These are programs funded by the National Science Foundation to prepare students to go into research. And they're really good. They look really good on curriculum vitae for applying to grad school. I did an RU in computer science. I talked about that in a video at Texas State University. I had a great time and I worked on a health informatics project. That was really cool. Other things you can do in undergrad are get plugged into a research lab at your home school. That's really good and you really should do that right away, just as soon as you possibly can, and be willing to volunteer. Obviously, it's not as fun to do unpaid research experience as it is to do a paid research experience, but if you're willing to volunteer, doors will open up for you because faculty don't always have money to pay people. But if you're willing to just help and get plugged in and not get paid for it, you'll get some valuable experience. One of the unquantifiable benefits of doing this is that you'll get, assuming you do a good job, a letter of recommendation for your next thing. And if you're applying to PhD programs in computer science, bioinformatics, computational biology, you really need excellent letters of recommendation. So that's great. Let's say you already completed undergrad. You're thinking, oh, what is something I can do now? I can't do RUs. I can't get plugged in as an undergraduate research assistant. Some things you can do are things like post-baccalaureate research experiences. This is what I'm doing at the NIH. And there's other programs like Stanford REACH, Carnegie Mellon Quantitative Bio Post-Bac program. These are full-time jobs. They're paid for anywhere from 1 to 2 years for you to get some really good full-time research experience. However, they're extremely competitive and not everyone will be able to do these. Another good option though is to do a master's. It's not a bad idea to pursue a master's if you didn't get good research experience in undergrad. And in the sciences, a lot of the time the best master's programs are paid. They pay you to come do the program. Really, the research is the best part for your future career in this area in a master's program. So that's definitely worth considering. Another option is to do a volunteer research assistant position. And you can reach out to different labs that are at different universities around your area. But what's nice about bioinformatics is that it can be done remotely. You can reach out to people all over and just say, hey, I have some biological computational skills. I want to get some research experience. I'm happy to volunteer. And you'll probably end up finding a position if you cold email enough people. Again, volunteering is not nearly as great as getting paid to do it, but you really do need some actual experience to get into PhD programs. So this will help you. This is something I did for a year. I volunteered about 10 hours a week as a research assistant in a computational biology lab. It was really good. I loved it, and I ended up actually getting some real valuable things done during that time, which helped me be competitive for my current post-bac and will help me be competitive for MD PhD programs. So there are things you can do at any level. You can absolutely do it. I hope that helped give some insight, some context, personal reflections with some actual job data example. Hope this is interesting. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.